What is that?
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce the Minister of Transport and the Center of the also pleased to announce Honorable Minister of Internal the strive and the passion and sacrifice is selected on the warrior class. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please announce the Foreign Minister of the Republic of Liberia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce the Sachet Affairs, the arrival of the Sachet Affairs of Sweden.
At the BARCLAY Training Center, this 11th day of February 2017. Tradition has it that every year, February 11, we celebrate in honor of the gallant men and women of the Armed Forces of Liberia, highlighting the outstanding contributions they make to this country and acknowledging their sacrificial works for the nation and the people of Liberia. The record of the Armed Forces of Liberia speaks for itself. It has a rich heritage distinguished by those who carried its color throughout history. A heritage maintained by those who wear the uniform today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's Armed Forces Parade is being executed by the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Liberian National Police, the Liberian Immigration Service, the Liberian National Fire Service, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, the Bureau of Corrections, the Monrovia City Police, the Liberian Seaport Police, and finally the Liberian Boys Scout Association. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the music for today's pre-parade serenade is being provided by the Armed Forces of Liberia Band under the direction of Warrant Officer Bobby Lee Billy, and the drum majoress is Master Sergeant Gordon Motion. The commander of troops for today's will now move to form up his troops for the commencement of today's parade. Please announce the arrival of Senator Steve Zago, Chairman, Defense Committee.
gentlemen, please to announce the Director of Police. I'm pleased to announce the Ambassador of Germany. I'm pleased to announce the National Security Ambassador to the President of the Republic of Liberia. And the Honor Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Social Justice Act. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the Justice Minister of Liberia. On the command sign-off, it is customary for men to march across the front of the troops, then have to march back across the front and halt in its original position. This tradition is said to have originated in the Crusades. The troops offered themselves for road sacrifice and drew up into a long formation where they raised
Dignitaries, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to announce the arrival of Her Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Shirley. Let us all stand.
The commander of troop will now bring the colors forward for honor to the nation. More than a century, the Star and Stripes is the banner under which Liberians have lived, fought and died. The flag is more than a symbol. The flag is the embodiment of our government, its people, ideals and values. Thus, as the flag is presented to the Commander-in-Chief, respect is paid to the nation.
And the colors are present.
Colors are now presented. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem of Liberia. At the playing of the national anthem, all military and paramilitary personnel wearing uniforms are asked to render a hand salute, and civilian personnel will place the right hand over the hats. Those male civilians wearing hats are asked to please remove the hats and place the right hand over the hats. Thank you for the Armed Forces of Liberia as they celebrate 60 years of existence. We pray now for all of the activities today. May you guard and protect. Thank you again for our state. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala asraf al-alamin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma ibstu alayna min barakatika wa rahmatika wa fadlika wa rizq. اللهم إنا نسألك نعيما مقيما الذي لا يهول ولا يزول. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما أعطيتنا ومن شر ما منعتنا. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والإسيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. آمين. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, O Allah, bestow on us, the people and the government of the Republic of Liberia, the leadership and the armed forces of Liberia, blessings, your blessings, mercy, grace, and provisions. O Allah, we ask you for the eternal delight that never ends or fades away. O Allah, we ask you for provisions on the day of deprivation and safety on the day of fear. O Allah, we seek refuge with you from the evil repercussions of what you have given us and from the evil of what you have deprived us of. O Allah, make faith dear to us and beautify it in our hearts, and make disbelief hateful to us, and make us among the rightly guided. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wassalamu ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum.
March!
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Troops would will now prepare the troops for the Commander-in-Chief's inspection of troops. Commander of troops for today's parade is Colonel Davison Faya Fuller, Commander, 23rd Infantry Brigade, Armed Forces of Liberia. The Commander-in-Chief, along with the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia and the Commander of Troops, will now conduct an inspection
for your inspection.
In this pass, trooping the line enables soldiers to physically identify their commander and allow the commander to personally observe and evaluate his soldiers and equipment in order to judge for himself the capability to successfully engage in battle.
So, I'll say when I'm right here. Yeah, man. Get ready. I'm thinking I'm more than
Commander-in-Chief has just been restored to the Home City College. Training command of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Second Lieutenant and the command sergeant is Staff Sergeant.
Commanding the Medical Command of the Armed Forces of Liberia is First Lieutenant Yonko Clark, and the Command Sergeant Major is Sergeant Akwo Joseph. The paramilitary staff is commanded by Chief Inspector Melvin Johnson of the Liberian National Police. The Liberian National Police is commanded by Superintendent Cooper Lawa. Liberian Immigration Service is commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Louis Dennis. The Liberian Fire Service is commanded by Colonel Julius S.M. King. The Liberian Drugs Enforcement Agency is commanded by Sergeant Jeremiah W. Nippy. The Liberian Bureau of Corrections is commanded by Sergeant Kolako Jackson. The Monrovia City Police is commanded by Patrolman Michael Sotri. The Liberian Seaport Police is commanded by Felicia Tupe. And the Liberian Boy Scout Association is commanded by Scoutmaster Abraham Cooley.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is inspection is done, the commander of troop has just requested permission from the commander-in-chief for him to join the formation for the continuation of the parade.
This time, I'm pleased to invite to the podium former head of states and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and astute statesman Baba Olusegun Matthew Okiki Ola Aribu Obasanjo for the 2017 Armed Forces
Thank you very much. If you have stopped at Olusegun Obasanjo, you will have got another. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and my colleagues, Your Excellency, and members of the armed forces of Liberia, let me start by wishing you happy Armed Forces Day anniversary, the 60th of it. And let me begin my remarks by thanking the President of the Republic of Liberia and my dear sister, Her Excellency President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, for not only inviting me to attend this important ceremony of this year's Armed Forces Day activities, but also for requesting me to deliver an address. Hence, I decided to speak on the subject, the military and nation-building process in Liberia. But first, let me hasten to pay special tribute to the courageous men and women of the armed forces of Liberia who have paid the ultimate price in defense of their nation. I pray that God should continue to grant their loved ones the strength to carry on, and that He, God, should grant repose for their souls, and for the souls of the departed Liberian heroes and heroines. Also at this juncture, we should remember the comrades in arms from other parts of West Africa who paid high prices for peace and security in Liberia. In solidarity, they lived and died, and we can take consolation that they have not died in vain. They made significant contributions to the peace and security enjoyed in Liberia today, and by extension in West Africa. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, And my dear colleagues, this day is not only for remembrance and commemoration of our fallen heroes, but a reminder of the price and sacrifice made by men and women, those under arms, and those who worked and toiled as civilians to forge this nation. It is therefore a day that calls. It is therefore a day that calls for deep reflection on the journey so far and the path to a Liberia that is indeed the land of the free, the land of freedom and peace. We are all familiar with the history of this great nation and the vision of its founders, who, as freed men and women, sought to build a nation of freedom, peace, justice, and equity. There are many who believe that this nation, like most other African nations, was a child of circumstance. That may be true, but I also believe that every circumstance is a design of God for a greater good, as God does not make a mistake. Liberia is a design of God for the greater good of all its people, and it is our job as citizens and friends of Liberia to nurture it through collective nation-building efforts to become what God designed it to be. Like every nation, Liberia has had its share of challenges in its nation-building efforts. Challenges like mismanaged cultural, ethnic, and religious diversity, political instability, socio-economic disparities, and weak governance structures and institutions, which have all contributed to the absence of a national identity and have given rise to 2 civil wars that ravaged this country and stunted its development and growth. This is why today, as we remember the fallen heroes and heroines, we must also be reminded of this nation's darkest days and what lessons we can draw from them. All hands must therefore be on deck to ensure that never again will this country be plunged into a senseless conflict that consumes its men, women, and children. To do this, we must continue to promote and strengthen the process of nation building that began at the end of the Second Civil War. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, let me focus now on the role of the military in the nation building process. The military in any nation plays a critical role in nation building. No nation can be built where security and stability are not assured or guaranteed. A nation without security is a nation without hope of survival. And the first aspect of security of a nation is security of national integrity of the nation. Also important is the physical security which military has to provide, including security from external and internal aggression, that will allow every individual to live life to the fullest, socially, culturally, economically, spiritually, and generally wholesomely. The military is like an insurance, whereby you appreciate its value when there is need for claims against calamity. In my preparation to be with you today and share my thoughts with you on the subject of the military and nation building, I delved into your Constitution and the Defense Act of 2008, establishing and guiding the operations of the armed forces of Liberia, I found in Section 2, Subsection 3, that mission, role, and function of the armed forces of Liberia are comprehensively spelled out, and so is the responsibility for deployment. From the role and function of the armed forces, which must be assigned to it by law, we can move to organization, training, equipment, and specialization of the armed forces to enable it to fulfill its role. This means the establishment of a professional armed forces, prepared and ready to meet and discharge all its duties and obligations. Professionalism of the armed forces does not end with the proper organization and adequate training and equipment. It includes discipline, loyalty, and strict adherence to its role and function of protecting and defending the national interest. Any armed forces are to be found in three places. That is, in the barracks, on training, and on operational duty posts. For peace, which is a sine qua non for development, the military must provide security and stability. These security and stability are the basis for political, social, and economic development, growth, and progress. And these are the foundations of nation building. The extent to which the armed forces contribute to peace, security, stability, and maintenance of law and order is the extent also at which they make significant contribution to nation building. Let me state here clearly that the welfare of the military in terms of their basic necessities of accommodation, uniforms, mobility, and reasonable equipment to perform their role and functions are an essential part of their professionalism. Having said that, let me also hasten to say that there is no nation that can provide all the modern equipment that its armed forces wish to have. The military will always have to make do within the resources of the state, and there are always competing demands on these resources. Discipline, loyalty, and obedience are three aspects of military professionalism that cannot and must not be sacrificed on the altar of convenience or on military grumbling and complaining or lame excuses. Loyalty in the military cannot be divided or disaggregated. It must be 100%. And it is to the nation, where the legitimate constituted authority of the Commander-in-Chief, the President, who alone can give lawful orders and command. Loyalty must be total. If a commander of the armed forces, or a commander of one of the services, or a field commander requires explanation or clarification of order or instruction given to him, to be sure, he has a right to seek such explanation or clarification. Thereafter, it is total obedience. No commander has right to choose what or which lawful order to obey and which not to obey. There is a mistaken popular saying, and I quote, obey first and then complain. In the military, you obey and explain. If you have anything to explain, but you don't complain. In this country, the 14 years of the second, in this country, the 14 years of the Second Civil War produced a nation that was deeply divided along political, economic, ethnic, and religious lines. These divisions that caused such bitterness and hate were indeed rooted in the Liberian armed forces, as they were in Liberian society. The result was the transformation of the Liberian armed forces from a professional force into a tribalized, politicized, and unprofessional military. This unfortunate situation necessitated the demobilization of the armed forces in 2003 and the creation of a new military, which Her Excellency President Bellu consistently referred to as, and I quote, "Pause for good." That good is the good of nation building. A decade has passed since the new Liberian military came into existence, and the international community is gradually but significantly reducing the presence of UN peacekeeping troops in Liberia. They will be phased out by March next year. There is therefore growing interest in the capacity of the Liberian military not only to manage its affairs, but to contribute to forging the nation. As an active participant in the Liberian economy, and as a keen observer of Liberian affairs, I am delighted by the reforms that I have seen in the military, and I am confident that the professional force is being built. It is evident that the decision to build a force for good from bottom up is paying off. But there are lessons that we must learn from the past, mistakes that we must avoid, and the legislation that must be obeyed about the conduct of the armed forces of Liberia, which stipulates, and I quote from the first act, standard of conduct for the armed forces of Liberia. Members of the AFL shall perform their duties at all times in accordance with democratic values and human rights. They shall perform their duties in a non-partisan manner, obey all lawful orders and commands from their superior officers in ways that command citizens' respect and confidence and contribute towards the maintenance and promotion of the respect for the rule of law and the Constitution. First, we must do all we can to ensure that this new military is not politicized. The professional military is a national organization and a national institution with national character and national awareness. I can sense and feel the rising heat being generated by the coming national election toward the end of this year. Just as all politicians and most citizens of Liberia are gearing for this year's election, the same way the international community, and especially your brothers and sisters in West Africa, are watching and praying for all things to go well. The beginning of a good and successful election is the preparation of the national electoral body, which must be patently neutral and adequately financed to ensure adequate facilities and materials for every registered voter to be able to cast his or her vote freely and unhindered in any way. The next is the behavior of politicians. All politicians want to win election. Why not? Yes, that is understandable. But there must be code of conduct, of mutual respect, decency, rule of law and obedience of regulations, national interest, pursuit of truth, and overriding interest of the citizens. It is the politicians that have made that very it is the politician that can make or mar an election by their action and words, and what they make their supporters to do or not. Hate and falsehood must be removed from campaigns. Keep to the issues of policy and programs. Do not fan the ember of tribalism and sectional sentiment. Let me now turn to the conduct of the elections itself. You, the electoral officials, the police, and the uniformed public officials like immigration and customs for watching polling stations and transportation of materials and their safety. Please, on no account should the military be involved in non-military duties and the conduct of elections. The military must remain strictly neutral. They may, if necessary, man roadblocks or carry out flag marches of the general security nature, but never should the military be involved in the conduct and administration of the election. They should remain in barracks or at their known electoral posts. Let me appeal to politicians that on no account should you give reports to tribal sentiments, pulling down people, which we call PhD in my part of the world. If election is reasonably free, and there is no perfect election in the world, reasonably fair and transparent, let us see it and accept it for what it is. For whatever reason, don't ever involve it. It will be a shameful pity that after the president of Liberia, a chairperson of Electoral, has spearheaded the prevention of crisis of lack of democracy in elections in Uganda, a splendid political and diplomatic growth globally, that things fail to go well in Liberia itself. Again, the lesson is that wherever fears of marginalization exist, whether real or personal, they must be urgently addressed. To avoid them altogether and to forge a sense of relationship is to ensure that there is transparency, balance, equity, and neutrality. Also, special attention must be paid to developing military civic responsibility to deal with natural or man-made emergencies. This works as a contribution to nation building. I am pleased to learn that this is an area that the new Liberian military is taking very seriously, as evident in such actions as its response to the Ebola outbreak in Liberia. The military must be trained for such emergencies and the unusual happenings or events. The military must not be treated with disdain or poor prerogative means. In Nigeria, one primary military also indeed, that is not a good thing to do to the world. Everything must be done to make our soldiers feel that the nation they are fighting and dying for deserves such supreme sacrifice and that they are appreciated. That is what an armed forces days are based. is also known. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, nation building is a systematic process of inclusion, unity, equity, justice, fairness, and shared values. It is a journey, not a destination. It must, at all times, be embarked upon as the progress made yesterday can be unmade today or tomorrow. The end of the Second Civil War in Liberia presented this nation with a unique opportunity to find, to move, to heal, and to grow. It is the task of all Liberians, especially the military, to ensure that the nation remains united and its part of nation building is never again disrupted. All hands, particularly those of the military and politicians, must be on deck for each to carry out their duties and responsibilities for the purpose of nation building. Your Excellency, let me conclude my remarks by once again thanking you for inviting me. I also once again wish to congratulate you and express my gratitude to you for your outstanding leadership of ECOWAS during the political crisis. Your steadfastness and that of your brothers in the sub-region and commitment to democracy remain a shining example to the international community of the ability of African leaders to find African solutions to African problems. We can also build our nations on democracy, good governance, accountability, equity, justice, inclusive development, peace and security, and wholesomeness with a professional, disciplined, efficient, and loyal. Thank you for listening, and may God continue to bless Liberia and our armed forces.
The distinguished service order to General Olusegun Obasanjo, former head of state and president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and acclaimed statesman. In 1958, you joined the Nigerian military and had several military training both at home and abroad, including the Officer Cadet Corps, Aldershot, England, the Indian Army School of Engineering, and the Defense Services Staff College, Wellington, India. Following the completion of your military training, you held several top-level military positions, which included First Air Commander, Commander of the 2nd Air Command, Chief of Army Engineer, Commander of the 3rd Marine Commando Division of the Army, the unit which captured Owerri and brought an end to the 30-month Biafra Civil War. Subsequently, you were appointed Chief of Staff of the Supreme Headquarters. In 1976, you served as Deputy Head of State under General Mutula Mohammed and subsequently became the Head of State. As Head of State, you re-established diplomatic relations with the United States of America and championed the formation of the Second Federal Republic of Nigeria. You introduced a new constitution structured on the U.S. constitutional model, and under your leadership, Nigeria embraced a presidential form of government with the houses of representatives and Senate established through local and federal elections. On October 1, 1979, You emerged as a permanent statesman of Africa when you peacefully turned over power to a democratically elected civilian government. In 1995, you were imprisoned by the late head of state General Sani Abacha and later released on 8th June 1998. During the 1999 election, you became the presidential candidate for the People's Democratic Party, and you won the elections with 62.6% of the votes. Your election marked a new dawn for democracy in Nigeria, and the day of your election continues to be observed as a public holiday throughout the country. During the first term of your presidency, you extensively traveled and rekindled diplomatic relations with major Western powers, including the US and the UK. In 2003, you were re-elected for the second term, defeating your current contender, General Muhammadu Buhari, now the current president of Nigeria. In your second administration, you were noted for your conciliatory roles in ECOWAS and won the household name Baba, reflecting your cooperative spirit in working along with the President of Cameroon, Paul Biya, to resolve the long-standing dispute of the BARCLAY Peninsula by signing what is known as Green Tree Agreement on June 12, 2006. This facilitated the withdrawal of the Nigerian army from the BARCLAY Peninsula. During your administration, the Nigerian economy witnessed high growth rate in GDP, higher oil prices, and increase in foreign reserves, thereby enabling Nigeria to successfully acquire debt pardons from London and Paris that total around 18 billion United States dollars. Most importantly, you are globally acclaimed for the critical conciliating measures taken to maintain regional peace in West African countries, especially in Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, and Liberia. Particularly, you influenced former President Charles Taylor to leave Liberia in order to end the senseless bloodbath of the Third Liberian Civil War. You assured Nigeria's commitment to lasting peace in Liberia by making both financial and human resources available for the recovery of Liberia. This commitment saw Nigerian security and military personnel, teachers and medical practitioners assigned to Liberia during its civil crisis. Your outstanding support to the government of Liberia and the armed forces of Liberia is in keeping with the finest tradition of military service and reflects distinct credit upon yourself, your family, and the men and women of the Nigerian Army. Now, therefore, I, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, President of the Republic of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, do hereby award the Decoration Distinguished Service Order to General Olusegun Obasanjo, former head of state and president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your services to our country and your country bring credit upon yourself, the people of Liberia, and the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Giving this 11th day of February 2017, Ronnie J. Summertime Jr., Minister of National Defense, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, President of the Republic of Liberia, and Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of Liberia. Citation for the Distinguished Service Order. Would like to invite Colonel Luis A. Barroso. Citation for the Distinguished Service Order to Luis A. Barroso, Colonel, retired, United States Military. You are a professional soldier of the United States military with over 24 years of experience. You have been honored and received recognition with the Legion of Merit Medal, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, the Joint Service Achievement Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, and the Joint Meritorious Unit Award. You also received the Army Superior Unit Award, the National Defense Service Medal, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary and Service Medals, the Armed Forces Service Medal, the Armed Forces Reserve Medal, the Army Service and Overseas Ribbons, the NATO Medal, the Expert Infantryman Badge, the Pathfinder Badge, the Ranger Tab, the Senior Parachutist Tab, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff Identification Tab. In 2001, you studied at Electoral State University and graduated with a master's degree in management, bachelor's of science degree in mechanical engineering from Florida International University. You are a graduate of the Infantry Officers Basic and Advanced Courses, the Command and General Staff Course, the Defense Language Institute French Course, Security Assistant Course, and the Joint Military Attaché School. From 2006 to 2008, you were an integral part of the United States government's military personnel that supported the defense sector reform program in Liberia, while serving as chief of the Office of Security Cooperation at the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia. You coordinated and managed security assistance from the United States to the government of Liberia. These supports were part of efforts that saw the initial training and equipping of the first batch of personnel of the armed forces of Liberia, as well as the recognition and refurbishment of the AFL military facilities. Since 2011, you have been serving as U.S. Defense Advisor to the Ministry of National Defense and the Armed Forces of Liberia. During this tour of duty, you have effectively advanced policy advice and documentations that assisted with the alignment and the reorganization of the Department of Defense Intelligence. This contributed to enhancing the operational effectiveness of the performance and evaluation of personnel of the Ministry of Defense. You supported the planning, preparation, and execution of numerous operations and deployments, such as AFL deployment to AFISMA and MINUSMA in Mali, Operation White Shield during the Ebola outbreak. Finally, you were an active member of the committee set up that drafted the National Defense Strategy, Military Strategy, and reviewed the 2008 new National Defense Act. Your outstanding support to the Armed Forces of Liberia is in keeping with the finest tradition of military service and reflects distinct credit upon yourself, the United States military, and men and women of the armed forces of Liberia. Now, therefore, for your exceptional meritorious service to the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of National Defense and the Armed Forces of Liberia, I, Ellen Johnson Shirley, President of the Republic of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, do hereby award the Declaration of Distinguished Service Order to Colonel Louis A. DeRosa of the United States military. Your services to our country and your country bring credit upon yourself, the Armed Forces of Liberia, and the men and women of the United States Army. Giving this 11th day of February 2017, Ronnie J. Summerall Jr., Minister of National Defense, RL, Ellen Johnson Shirley, President of the Republic of Liberia,
the Armed Forces of Liberia, Chief Justice of the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Speaker, members of the National Association, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and guest speaker on occasion of the 60th anniversary of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, officers, non-commissioned officers, enlisted men and women, and sailors of the Armed Forces of Liberia, my cabinet colleagues, the diplomatic corps, village traditional chiefs and elders, families of our gallant men and women of the Armed Forces of Liberia, visiting families, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome our Commander-in-Chief and distinguished officials, dignitaries, visiting prelates, family and friends, to this unique occasion, marking the 60th anniversary of the Armed Forces of Liberia. 60 years ago, in 1957, the National Legislature enacted into law a bill honoring the services and sacrifices of those who serve our country. We continue to pay homage and remember our undaunted women and men who have always responded to the Beagle's call. Madam President, 11 years ago, you appointed me as Minister of National Defense and mandated me to oversee the restructuring of the Armed Forces of Liberia into a professional force reflecting a new dispensation of our emerging democracy. We recognized from the onset that the diagnostic shortcoming we faced was the lack of public trust in those who bear arms soon to protect the people and the state. The underlying element was that the people of Liberia needed to be reassured that given their recent historical past, never again will the AFL be politicized and used as an instrument of violence against the people they are sworn to protect. With financial and logistical support from the United States government, an irreversible process was launched that will be transparent, based on the order of merit, without any undue political influence, that will reflect our national desire and geographical representation. A robust, non-judicial, empirical vetting process was instituted. Basic minimum criteria were established on a verifiable basis that must be met by all recruits with the desire of joining the AFL. A nationwide recruitment drive was launched, thereby bringing the AFL to the fullest representation of all elements of our communities. All segments and creed of our society were involved through community outreach and robust information sharing by each and every applicant who met the minimum requirement. under the leadership of two of Nigeria's finest generals, the late Lieutenant General Yusuf and later Major General Suraj Abdul Rahman, a rigorous training, regimentation, and discipline process was instituted. Over the years, we saw the gradual activation of units, thus forming what has now become the 23rd Infantry Brigade and the Liberian Coast Guard. The designation 23rd represents the new dispensation of the new democracy in 2006, when the people of Liberia freely elected and inaugurated the 23rd President of the Republic of Liberia. This designation 23rd is intended to serve as a reminder and a clear break from the recent past and the beginning of the new AFL. Disciplines, bound by constitutional duties, institutional principles of service, integrity, professionalism, and loyalty. Today, our new AFL has the regimentation, training, discipline, and capability to protect and defend our democracy and support the nation's development goals. Today, our new AFL is led by some of Liberia's finest officers, trained and mentored over the years by some of the best military minds, institutions, and programs. Madam President, I am very pleased to report that under your leadership as Chairman of ECOWAS, our own Major General Daniel D. Zianka, Chief of Staff of the Alpha of Liberia, is the present Chairman of the Committee of Defense Staff of ECOWAS. We are very proud of this designation and achievement. Madam President, we have institutionalized policies and programs that will support governance and accountability within the AFL. These include provisions under the new Defense Act of 2008, as well as elements within our National Defense Strategy and the AFL Uniform Code of Military Justice and Waging legislation. We have sought assistance from our strategic partner, the United States, for setting up the AFL Inspector General Office to ensure accountability and professionalism. This office will serve as a watchtower to maintain the integrity of command within the AFL and complying with all rules and regulations. With the support of the United Nations Mission in Liberia, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Justice to ensure the due process for AFL personnel facing actions beyond regular military discipline. Finally, to our men and women in arms. For the past 11 years, I've had the honor and privilege to serve you as the Minister of National Defense. This journey has not been easy. It has taken the entire composite of all that I've learned during my 39 years of public service to make this happen. It has taken the fullest cooperation and support of all of you in uniform to make this possible. I've had the opportunity to learn from you the fortitude of endurance and discipline in the face of uncertainty and constraints. I've learned from you to follow, but to lead where the mission dictates. I've learned from you the courage of stepping forward when called upon and never backing away when challenged. Your bravery has made me humble. Your bravery has made me humble to respect the oath you have taken to serve our country and your preparedness to make the ultimate sacrifice if need be. You are the very best that I've ever been in my public service and where I've ever served. As the clock ticks for this chapter of my public service to end, I will always cherish the opportunity I have had standing here to serve you during these 11 years as Minister of National Defense. Honorable Minister of Electoral, this will be my last time standing here in this capacity. This has to also end as the administration transition within the next 11 months. We must look to the future for another Liberia up the mantle to serve where we end. Thank you very much for making this happen. And my President, thank you very much for trusting me and believing in me to serve as Minister of National Defense. I wish all our listeners, non-commissioned officers, and officers of the armed forces of Liberia, the generals and senior officers, as well as those who are honorably retired from the AFL and unforgettable 60th Armed Forces Day celebration. God bless you, and thank you very much.
At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we are respectfully invited to the program officers of the Republic of Liberia, for the introduction of the President of the Republic of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia for the 60th Armed Forces Day message.
The Dean and members of the Cabinet, the Honorable Minister of Defense, the Chief of Staff and gallant men and women of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Mr. Doyen and members of the Diplomatic Corps, international organization, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, Baba, old soldier, never die, Keynote Speaker and former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, honoree, paramilitary brass and officials, government officials, clergy, men and women, clerics, traditional leaders, members of the First Family, youth and student groups, members of the Fourth Estate, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinguished duty and honor to welcome to the podium the President of the Republic of Liberia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Her Excellency Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who will deliver her Armed Forces Day message. Let me all stand.
Thank you. Fellow Liberians, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what an exceptional performance by the Armed Forces of Liberia. This is a clear demonstration of the outstanding training and discipline which they have received over these years. I only hope that the opportunity will not come for them to do so for real. Let me welcome my good friend and brother, former President of Nigeria, Obasanjo. Baba, you may recall that when I asked you to kindly send one of your finest officers to serve as commanding officer in charge of the AFL, you did not hesitate. You readily agreed. In 2006, we together started building this new AFL. So it is benefiting for you to have agreed to join us on this end. You do so, and you also honor me as this is my last celebration as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Thank you so much for coming. I'm very pleased that in your keynote address, you correctly reflected on what our region and our continent need in terms of professional men and women in arms. Your in-depth knowledge and first-hand experience, both in uniform and as a former commander-in-chief, clearly demonstrates the discipline and unique capabilities that the military brings in helping to bring peace and support development goals. Thank you for your advice to our men and women in arms and for always supporting our efforts. You are indeed a dear friend. We have already received the nation's highest honor in recognition of what you have done to give us peace. And I'm just glad that today the armed forces have added to that by what we have just played on your broad shoulders. Today we have the wives and family members of two of Nigeria's outstanding generals, as well as the wife of one of our own. All of their husbands served the AFL with distinction and honor when we began this journey in 2006 to restructure and rebuild our armed forces. We have Madam Mary Bilki Yusuf. Madam Yusuf, please stand. His husband, the late General Yusuf, served as the first commanding officer in charge of the armed forces of Liberia. Thank you for coming. We also have Mrs. Haja Fatima Abdurrahman. Please stand. Major General Suraj Abdurrahman, who served for nearly 8 years as head of our armed forces. Thank you, Raja. Thank you for coming here. And we have Mrs. Leela Goodrich Dennis. Madam Good Dennis, please stand. She's the wife of Brigadier General Eric Dennis, former Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia. His soul rest in peace. I ask all of you to kindly join me by standing as we honor and pay tribute to these very outstanding professionals, all those who gave and have gone to the big beyond and serving our armed forces. Thank you. I stand here with great gratitude and humility to express the sorrow we feel, but very proud of their outstanding and unparalleled services to our nation. May God grant all of them compassionate mercies, and may their souls continue to rest in peace. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for me, this celebration is twofold. First, this is the 60th anniversary of the celebration of Armed Forces Day, set aside to honor our gallant men and women. Second, this will be my last official act celebrating this annual event. It has indeed been an honor to be able to have served as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia. This new armed forces started from a very humble beginning in 2006 after a stringent vetting and recruiting process. 106 young men and women were initially trained and sworn to serve our country. 11 years later, our armed forces now have almost 2,200 personnel trained professionally in their various military occupation specialties. Our new armed forces has developed and is developing as a force for good. They are serving abroad with the United Nations peacekeeping force in Mali, flying our flag in the dangerous desert region of Timbuktu, and affirming our nation's steadfastness to regional peace and security. They are also serving at ECOWAS headquarters in Abuja as part of our support and commitment to the ECOWAS standby force. And they have a presence with the MRU Secretariat under a security protocol. When called to duty, The armed forces have risen to the occasion, regardless of time, location, situation, or condition. During the hectic days of the epidemic, we were called to duty to support our efforts in defeating the virus, demonstrating the effectiveness of civilian and military collaboration. During the turbulent days of disturbance along our southeastern border area, we were in defense of our sovereignty and successfully launched Operation Restore Hope, which brought calm and sanity along the Liberian and Ivorian border areas. When we faced the challenges of very bad roads in our communities in other parts of the country, we were there in the communities as far as the hills of Lupa, the corridors of Sando and Grand Creek, easing the discomfort of road passage, as well as paving the way for successful hosting of national events. When an unexpected flood cut off some sections of the Rawalpindi Highway, we were there to provide rescue. We are a small force, but proud of your tactical and technical proficiencies when called upon and when mission demands. Today, our AFL is a force for good, always ready and prepared to defend our democratic aims and support our development efforts. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the foundation of support, assistance, and mentorship to the AFL was built on direct financial and logistic support of the United States government to the restructuring process. The U.S. government also launched and supported various operational other than war, including Operation Onward Liberty, meant to train and mentor the AFL, Operation White Shield, AFL's response to the crisis, and Operation United Assistance, U.S. government direct response to the Ebola crisis in Liberia. We want to express our thanks and gratitude to the American people, through you, Ambassador Christine Elder. Please convey our heartfelt appreciation to all those who served in bringing the AFL thus far. And once again, to my friend and brother, former President Obasanjo, let me say how proud I am that Nigeria has been in the lead and is seen as the center of regional and international support to our security sector reform program. Nigeria has sent their finest sons to serve with the AFL, to provide strategic leadership support from the very beginning to what it is today. Once again, Nigeria and our other African countries have also been a part of the AFL that we see today. President Obasanjo, kindly extend my personal gratitude to President Buhari for continuing this support. In the same vein, let me express personal thanks to the government of the People's Republic of China for their logistical support to the AFL. Your support has been very pivotal in enhancing the operational capabilities of the AFL. Ambassador Zhang, please convey our heartfelt gratitude to President Xi and the People's Republic of China for their support to the AFL. We are grateful to all of our partners for their support, for the training and the other military cooperation, which have helped to build the efficiency and capabilities of the AFL. Thanks to the government of Bangladesh, Egypt, Ghana, France, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Sweden, and the United Kingdom for their continuous support, partnership, and assistance to the AFL. The evidence of your support is what has helped bring the EFL to this level of recognition. Special recognition is accorded to the United Nations Mission in Liberia, UNMIL, for their partnership and assistance in building unique capabilities of the EFL. As a result of the training that you have provided, the EFL now has specialized skills in identifying, recovery, and disposal of unexploded ordnance. Through the leadership of the SRSG, Mr. Farid Zari, and the Force Commander, Major General Salihu Uba, this level of cooperation has been enhanced. Farid, please accept our personal thanks and appreciation for the level of cooperation, support, and assistance. Through your support, we have built a vibrant military that is capable of maintaining the peace and stability in the spirit of public trust and confidence in our security sector that will continue in the post-UNMIL environment. Personnel of the armed forces of Liberia are not politicians, and the professional content of their organization must be devoid of politics and personal preferences. The credibility of the recruiting and vetting process has been instituted in the AFL over a decade now. This must continue without political interference. Promotions, assignments, and rotation of AFL personnel are the responsibility of the chain of command of the AFL and must therefore remain so without undue influence or favoritism. Let me state that civilian leadership of the AFL must recognize the regimentation of the military through its table of organization and equipment upon which the force is trained, disciplined, and deployed. The governance, command, and operational structure of the armed forces of Liberia are based on the order of merit and must remain so for accountability and integrity of purpose. In merit-based professional outfits such as the EFL should remain above the fray of political illusion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come a long way since 2006 in our security sector reform program. These reforms have not only seen overlapping agencies combined, but also a change of nomenclature, leadership, and function. We have amended and created new statutes affecting most of our security agencies to enhance their governance structure and operational capabilities. The Liberian National Police is now headed by an Inspector General of Police and similar subordinate titles. The Special Security Service has transitioned to the Executive Protection Service with clearly defined governing structures and responsibilities. Similarly, the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization has transitioned to the Liberia Immigration Services with an amendment of the statute outlining its new stature and modus operandi. Our new anti-drug laws and firearms control acts are in consonance with ECOWAS protocol in the region. All of these regulatory frameworks are intended to enhance accountability and provide legal jurisprudence. Now that enormous achievements have been made in our security and defense sector reform programs, we can look to the future with renewed confidence in maintaining our national peace and security. Fellow Liberians, the preparations for elections have begun. I urge all citizens of legal age to register within a specified period to be able to vote in October. It is your constitutional prerogative, and you must register first. to exercise that prerogative. Law enforcement and other security personnel, as well as members of the armed forces of Liberia, are encouraged to register, but they must not wear uniform when going out to register to vote. The Liberian National Police and other security agencies would have primary responsibility for providing security during this voter registration and the time of election, and they would have the fullest support of government. To our military families, your support to our men and women in arms are a clear manifestation of your commitment in maintaining stability at home as they defend our home front and participate in peacekeeping operations abroad. The service and sacrifice of our troops are made possible because of your support as family, because of your resilience at home. We are proud of your efforts and want to assure you of our continued support to our military. I want to personally thank all of our families for their support throughout these years. Finally, on a very personal note, I do feel the loss and pain in the death of Private Swen and the death of 7 of your colleagues during the Ebola crisis while they were in service to the nation. I have shared the uncertainty of your deployments to Mali and the inadequacies at our various military facilities. In spite of all of these, you have demonstrated unflinching loyalty and patriotism in serving and defending our nation. To the Chief of Staff, General Siaka, to the Minister of Defense, to all officers and non-commissioned officers, to men and women of the armed forces of Liberia, I have had the fullest respect and admiration for your service to our nation. I will continue until the end of my term to serve you and support the fulfillment of our national obligations to you and your families. Resources may be scarce, but we will continue to do that which we have to do. And there will come the time, Honorable Minister of Defense, when you will be duly honored as the longest serving cabinet minister in the country. To the men and women of the armed forces of Liberia, it has been an exceptional honor and a remarkable journey, a constitutional privilege to serve as your commander-in-chief. It has been great to walk the lines with you when we do inspection of the troops. It has been great to sit with the brass of the military to talk about their proficiencies and some of what they require to be even more proficient. I commend you and I salute you. Happy Armed Forces Day. Happy 60th anniversary. God bless Liberia.
Promotion of the late Brigadier General, of the late U.S. General to the rank of Brigadier General, and that is why the star is given to his wife as a reference to him.
What's permission for passing
We
review?
have fully obtained a master's in international affairs and strategic studies from Nigeria Defense Academy, Kaduna State, Republic of Nigeria. He also obtained a certificate in professional management and German Institute of Management, Republic of Nigeria. This is the Public Administration, University of Liberia. President is now at the grandstand to review the troops as the troops pass in.